people say, I don't really know.
I was just, I don't know. It's just me, but I had to tell my story. So.
Right. So let's just jump in it. Ain't that Lil Mama?
Who said that?
That's what Amani said that. So some people here you probably don't know, like, because I met some people here too that I doubt that they don't like that too, but I love them so much. Like, they come, they get ask questions because they know that they do their research. So they know, so when they see the flyer, they start getting in, looking up shit.
Right.
So, how did you get started in the ballroom scene? Like, how did you get started in the ballroom scene?
I got started into the scene because just one day I was just out. I'm from Marcy, so like I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Marcy. I got family all over Brooklyn, all different places. But one day I was with my best friend, and shout out to my best friend Tyrone. He not on Migo, but me and Tyrone, we was together one day, and we had this thing where we called like walking around. And what it was like, when we got tired of being our own hood, like we would go walking around to everybody else's hood and turn up at everybody else's hood.
Right.
So we had went to Fort Greene because Tyrone had family in Fort Greene. And when we got to Fort Greene, we saw like this big commotion in the park and all this other stuff. So we was like, what's going on in the park? Being nosy went to the park. But we didn't know it was a ball. We didn't have no idea like what balls was or anything like that. So when we went across the street, we just saw like all these people in the park, and they had like everything was like back, like blocked off. So they had like the stage in the middle in Fort Greene Park. So we went over there, and
this is before HMI, all
this was before HMI, all of that. Like I had
shit.
just got into high school. We was both in the 9th grade, and we was just like finding ourselves and like doing all this like other stuff.
You knew you was gay already?
Yeah, we knew we was, but we didn't know what type of gay person we wanted to be.
Okay.
Because you got your gays that don't even be in the scene and stuff like that. So we was just sort of like the commotion in the park. We went over there, and then we didn't know what balls was, we didn't know what trans were, we didn't know nothing. So we were just being in the park, being nosy. We saw everybody in the park, and then after that, it was something that we was like, okay, we got to like find more about like what this is. So then after that, we went to the village for the first time.
Let me get it on you. Okay.
We went to the village for the first time. We got introduced to the village, and then when you like when you first coming out, you start meeting just like different people. So like we had met somebody, I forgot who it was though in the city. I think it was like you know who it was? It was Casanova. You remember Casanova? Told Casanova from the Bronx. Bush Queen. You gotta know Casanova. But anyway, we had met Casanova in the city, and he had put us onto Safe Space. Mm-hmm. So Safe Space was the original place on 17th Street in 6th Avenue. That was the first one with the soundproof room.
What year is this kind of story?
This was like ending of 2004.
Okay.
So we had met Casanova, and he told us about Safe Space. And when we finally went to Safe Space, and when we got there, that's when we met Simba. We met Katrina before she was Katrina. We met Maya from the Bronx. Like, all the girls used to come. Domingo. Like, all the girls used to come in Safe Space and just key, and just be safe in the space. And then it was a soundproof room that they had where they was voguing. And Katrina, Katrina used to always vogue before she was Katrina, early days. Maya, Casanova, who else was there? It was like a couple of girls or whatever. So we was like, what is this? Like, we want to do this or whatever the case may have be. So then after that, we got introduced to going to kiki functions.
Right.
And before, like, way before, like, the kiki functions that are today, like, those kiki functions was at GMHC.
Okay.
So those kiki functions was like the ones that Aisha and like Arbor used to put together. And you had all the girls on that you used to live for on the performance volume tapes, and they would come and you were like, oh my god, that's such and such, and all the other stuff or whatever. But the thing about it was like kiki functions, they judged us because they helped us get to mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't have a choice back then. It was either you mainstream or you not. Now the girls have a choice whether they want to be mainstream or they don't want to be mainstream. But back then, we knew we wanted to be those girls on the tape, like those Roxys that we used to see on the tape, those Champagnes, all those girls on those Performance Volume 3 tapes, Performance Volume 4 tapes, all of that. So when we started going to those functions and we started to see the girls come And that's kind of like how we got into like the scene. And then we started going to the clubhouse after that. And then once we went to the clubhouse on 120th Street, it was over. 125th clubhouse, it was over because. But the thing about it was we never stayed. When the lights came on, we left because we didn't know what was going on. But then one day we was like, let's just stay and see like what was going on. And then from there it was like,
we saw the wall.
Yeah, we saw the wall. And I wanted to be an Ebony because the Ebony's was fab and it was deep.
You wanted to be an Ebony?
I wanted to be an Ebony at first. I really, really did. But I wanted to be an Ebony. Then I wanted to be a Quran, and then I wanted to be a Revlon. But I never took I never took like heed to that because I didn't really know what to do or like how to start it.
So when did you start at Vogue? When did you, and how did you want Vogue to be your category? Because you could have did runway.
I said, like when we started, when we start, I didn't really think I had like ballroom face. I just thought I had like a cute face.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But
keep it real.
Just to keep it real. But when I went to the functions, well, let me back up a little bit. When we started watching those tapes, I knew I wanted to vote. Like when I used to see, one person was like really my favorite was like Juan from Jersey, Runs with a Twist. Like he's like one. Shout out to Juan. He's like one of the top. Still to this day, I feel like nobody like he's like one of the top twisters to me. So like when I used to see him on those tapes, like see him Vogue and Carry On Cut Up, I used to see like all the girls, like the Blondie girls, the Givenchy's, like all of those girls, like that's how I knew like I wanted to Vogue. So then when I went to the function, I remember this like it was yesterday. I went to the function. It was the GMAC function on 23rd Street, and I had like this black like satin cunty. Like I was really, really cunty back then. Like I thought I was going to transition because I was so cunt. Like I was really, really feminine. So I had like this black DKNY jacket on. I had the 7 jeans on with the A's in the back. You know, if you had a pair of 7 jeans, you was a girl. No shade, you was a girl. And I had my black leather Pradas on. That's when you knew you was a girl. Like 2004, if you had a pair of Pradas on, you was the girl. No shade. So then I get to the function and I'm talking to somebody and somebody tapped me on my shoulder. And so I turned around, they was like talking to me and it was just like, what's your name? And da-da-da. And I was just telling my name. And at that time, my name was Little Bit. Because my friends named me Little Bit because I was a little bit too extra. My attitude was a little bit too extra. All that. But I never knew it was like a little bit insane. Like I never knew that because I didn't know nothing about nothing. So she like, what's your name? And I'm like, Little Bit. And she like, you in a house? And I'm like, no, I'm not in a house. She's like, are you thinking about being in a house or whatever? And I was like, I'm gonna tell you in a few minutes. But I was like, I want to, but I'm not really sure. That mind you, all my people, like I started meeting a lot of different people, but all the people that I was around was cons and latexes. Like Perry and Terrell, all of them was cons. Then you had Sequoia was a latex. You know what I'm saying? Like all of them like that. So I was like, excuse me. I was like, I don't want to be a latex and I don't want to be a con. So I'm talking to the person we exchanged numbers, but the person was Jalen. And Jalen wanted me to walk fashion. And I'm like when I watched those tapes, I ain't see no fashion up there. I saw Vogue and Runway and even like Sex Sirens.
Sorry y'all. Can everybody please share the live? On top the screen's fire.
Send my girl from the beans.
Send me a bean. Yes, send my little things. So yeah.
So it was Jalen had tapped me on the shoulder. She was that's who was talking to me, and we had exchanged numbers or whatever, and we had kept in contact and stuff like that. And then I told her that I didn't feel like that's fashion for me was not an option because I was only 14 years old. I didn't have the income to walk fashion. Like when I started like watching what it was given, I'm like, bitch, I'm not walking that. Like I got a right pair of Pradas at the time. Pradas was $320. Like you have a little jean or something. I feel like I didn't have the financial ability to walk a fashion category, but they wanted me to walk it because I was little, I was petite, I got smaller feet and stuff like that.
They got you done.
They could have, but I wasn't thinking about that at that time. I didn't know houses gave that at that time and stuff like that.
Especially around that time.
Right, especially right as I was giving it. So when long story short, she had called me. I was like, I want to Vogue. Like, I want to Vogue. That's what I want to do. And she called me. She told me when the meeting was. And you want to gag? Vicky Gotti came with me to the meeting. Like, she came with me to the meeting. So Jalen had told me when the meeting was. And I was actually scared to go to the meeting because I heard so many stories about Arbor being fierce and shady. God bless the dead. I had so many, like, different reviews about Arbor. So I was always scared. Nice. I was always scared to go to the meeting. So when I finally went to the meeting, I got to the meeting and it was just so ironic because when I got there, it was Charles, Juan, Bones, and Scooter. And we all were trying out to get into the house at the same time. And when I saw Juan, I was like, kind of like starstruck, because I was like, oh my god, like I watch you on the tapes, like I live you, like all of that. And then Charles was just being kind. And then we just got started into rapping. God bless his dad.
God bless his dad. Charles.
And we had Org and Bones, and we had all got voted into the house at the same time, or whatever the case may have to be. And I had like later on talking like we was talking about like we was all Aries at the time and stuff like that. So I was Evisu. Yeah, and that's how everything started, like with Evisu and stuff.
So
like
why
that.
did you? Would you in that Evisu production when Swiper production? Jack was like,
I wasn't in that production.
Okay,
but I was in a house. I just wasn't.
Jack was like, no more production.
Right. I was in a house, but I wasn't in that production. But that's how everything kind of like. That's how I got like transitioned into the scene and stuff like that.
Okay, so how did you So that's time you was balancing that and the Kiki scene too.
Yes, I actually kind of started both at the same time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you get to Mizrahi?
Well, what happened was I stayed in Evisu for a year, and I walked about 3 or 4 times with them. But the 3 or 4 times that I walked, three out of 4 of those times I had walked Virgin Performance. And the first time I walked was in DC. I've never even walked a ball in New York City. Like they always had me traveling and stuff like that. So the first ball that I walked was RJ Balenciaga's Ready to Rumble Ball #2 in DC. That was at the Edge. Some of y'all girls never even vogued at the Edge before. That was at the Edge nightclub. Shout out to RJ Balenciaga. I haven't seen him in that long, but
I just spoke to RJ 2 days ago. He's
for real?
Yeah, I checked on my Balenciagas. I spoke to my Balenciagas.
I haven't seen him in a long time, but that was the first ball I walked, and I was in Washington D.C. and the second time I walked was the Prodigy ball in the cold ass warehouse with the hard ass floor.
When Ricky battled Berlin.
Yes, I had walked Virgin that night, and then I walked Virgin one more time in Philly at the Philly Awards Ball, but they started bringing like the category, so they had Jack let me get my 10s, but I couldn't battle or whatever the case may be. And then the first time I walked Vogue Femme, the category was at the Capitol Awards Ball, the first ever Capitol Awards Ball in DC, Divas versus Challengers.
When you walked that?
I was on, yeah, I walked that.
For real?
And the Divas had to bring in the black t-shirt, blue jeans. I don't know, somebody, I don't know, but I had like one battle. I got sacked though. But
Who battled though?
I don't remember, but I was on that tape, and like the Divas had to bring the creative shirt with the Of the Years on it.
Yeah.
I was on that DVD.
You got
I walked
Diva?
that. No, I had to battle. No, I had to battle. All the challengers had to battle first. Okay. And then the last challenger like battled the Diva.
Who was the last challenger? Was it Pretty?
I don't even know. Pretty was a diva.
You say he wasn't a diva. I think he battled. That's why.
No. She was a challenger. She was a challenger, but I don't know if she was. Like, she might have been. I don't remember because I got sad. So you know when you get sad, you like, girl, I don't remember. Okay. But I was on that tape, and it's so funny because last time we was at Cocoa House, Pretty was like, "Bitch, you forgot you was on that tape." Yeah, I was on that tape, and then that was the last time I walked with the House of Evisu because it was just like little things that I felt like at that time that I was hungry. I wanted this so bad, and to be honest with you, this is how I felt back then, and this is like 2005, but I felt like every chance that I got, they was kind of holding me back. You know what I'm saying? And then it was just like, no, what happened was, the awards war was coming up, and Jack had put out the categories for Butch Queen Jr. Vogue Femme. And you had to send 3 people from your house out. And this was in 2006. And this was the last ball they had at the National Black Theater. The last awards ball. And what happened was Jack put the categories out, and then we had a meeting and stuff like that, whatever. But they didn't really tell me that they had already gave one of the spots to Little Black Girl. And Little Black Girl was Evisu at the time. And the second spot had went to Little Kitty from DC. I don't know if you know Little Kitty, but Little Kitty from DC, he had the second spot. And I wasn't mad. I was like, okay, And then the third spot went to Jada from Jersey because they had voted Jada into the house. Jada Chanel, or whatever the case may be. So I was over it. So I'm like, why would y'all sit here and tell me that we have to battle for the spots if y'all already knew who y'all was giving the spots to? And I felt a certain type of way. And then I was just like, it was that. And then I felt like I wasn't practicing with the girls like I should have been. Like, I felt like, Leah was the next up-and-coming bitch. She had just sat Shoshana down at the Legends Ball. She just on the POCC list. And Deshaun was the $5,000 bitch. So why I'm not practicing with these girls? Like, I'm like, why are we not practicing? Like, I don't understand why I'm not getting nothing out of y'all. But every time I tell them about practice, they want me to ship me with the Twisters. I don't want to vote with the Twisters. I want to vote with the Roll Femmes. Like, so it was just like a lot of stuff like that. And at that time, I just felt like, you know, I feel like I was being held back from a little bit of, you know, a little stuff. But during that time of 2006, I started branching off and I started officially going to HMI. And I already knew Dewan from Shoshana from being in junior high school together. Yeah, we went to the same. So we already had like a small little relationship. And then I knew she was one of the Brownsville girls, and we used to go to Tyrone House on Kingston and Shrew, and Carrie with Goya and Mother Goya and all the Brownsville girls and all of that. Shout out to the Brownsville girls and Mother Goya, Chi on them, all of them. So I already knew that. And then so we already had a connection. And then I met Leonie, and me and Leonie connected. And then later on, Tyshawn had moved up here from Virginia. So then we was like together every day. You know, we was just around the same age. We would leave from HMI, go to the pier, smoke a blind. We was always together, like nonstop. So it just made sense. Do you get what I'm saying? That to go to it. But I didn't go to Mizrahi at first. Because what happened was I told Naomi, shout out to Naomi, I told Naomi that I wanted to come to the house, and she was like, I don't see it. And she told me, should have. She was like, I don't see it, but if you put in the work and I can work with you, then we can do that, and we can get you to that level of becoming a Mizrahi.
So she didn't see your performance? Or
she didn't see it, no.
Okay.
And I respected that, because I didn't have that when I was in Ibisu. You get what I'm saying? So
they didn't keep it real.
They didn't keep it real with me. You get what I'm saying? So Lay kept it real and was just like, no, I don't see it yet. Like, she got to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you come and you work, and I work with you. You know, Lay had just won 1,000 in Boston. She was on fire. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
she like,
she saw the Ibisu stuff.
Right, she saw the Ibisu stuff.
Right.
She was like, you know, I'll help you, and that's what she did. Like, she helped me. They all actually helped me, and I was in transition of going to the house. But then I gagged again. I don't know if you noticed, but I gagged again because Malaysia actually became a Mizrahi before me, and I was over it. And I was like, bitch, they don't need another little girl. Like, it's over. Like, it's over for me. Like, so then I don't know how true this was, but Malaysia was dating somebody at the time, and they didn't want her to be a Mizrahi, for quote unquote. So she chose her lover. You know, when you're in love, you choose your lover, what they tell you to do, and stuff like that. So she left the house like a week. Like, a couple of days, she left the house. And then I was like, all right, bitch, this is God's plan, because now I'm about to be a Mizrahi. Like, this is how it's going to go. So I had went to the meeting, long story short. I left Ibisu, like, June 2006. And I became a Mizrahi in July 2006.
And then did you work the latex that year?
No, but I was there to support Tyshawn though, because that's the year Tyshawn had battled Cassandra in 2006. But we all came and we all like supported. But when I got voted into the house, I put myself on blackout. So I was like, I'm not ready yet. Like, I'm not ready at all. So those last like 5 to 6 months, it was just practice mode. Like, Selvin was like, bitch, it's boot camp out. Like, that's what we want to do. And that's how I became a Mizrahi.
How was that for you with Kelly and them? Like, was it family for you?
The Mizrahi taught me everything that I really, you know, that I knew. It was like family. It was like, it was just like, you know how like when you just be with a bunch of people every day, like I was with them every single day. So it was like, we knew everything. Like, they don't want who named, like they named me Lil Mama. Like, they was like, no, you're not going into that with no little bits and nothing like that. Like, you a Lil Mama, you act like everybody's mother, that's what you give, that's going to be your name. And no, I was Lil Mama before Lil Mama, before the rapper. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, they had named me that or whatever. So that whole rest of the year was just like blackout for me up until 2007. And that's when everything just took off from 2007.
And you was moved up from the year.
Yeah, but even before that, like we was planning to walk the Icon Wall, and still to this day I regret not walking that wall.
Which one was that?
The one that they had, the first one they had at Mott Street.
Oh, when motherfucking Kevin and Orlman and Tim went dumb.
Yes, when they went dumb.
Stupid
I was so mad. Shout out to all of those girls that walked that wall, because y'all went
Cassandra,
stupid.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And it was so crazy.
Leo, I'm not Leo. Little black girl.
Little black girl. All of them walked that.
They all did.
And I was so mad. I was so mad because we was on three-way. We was in a conference, and Lay was like, so what we doing, y'all? We storming? Like, what we doing? And we was like, we don't really know. Like, we was like, nah, I don't really want to walk. Like, you know, da-da-da. So then Lay was like, all right, so Jack is starting the Rumble Balls the next night. It was Rumble Ball number 1. So she was like, I'm going to go to the Rumble Ball to support Jack, but I'm not going to go to the Icon. So we all didn't go to the Icon Ball. The only one who went was like a couple of Mizrahis or whatever. So then after that, you know, when Jack used to have the Rumble Balls, no shade, Jack used to have like, every Rumble Ball he had the categories for the next Rumble Ball out already at that night. So that night, he had the Rumble Ball, the next Rumble Ball categories was out. And so after the Icon Ball weekend, Leia and them called me again on 3-way, and she was like, bitch, you ready? And I'm like, bitch, I'm ready. Like, what's up? Like, what we doing? And she was like, Jack got a Rumble coming up, all red, white gloves, like, you got your all red. So I was like, I got a top, like, I don't have, like, and I got my top and my sneakers. And then Kelly was like, tell Lil Mama to come to Jack House early, and we going to 125th Street, and I'm going to get the rest of her outfit. And, you know, Kelly was Mother Brand. So Kelly was like, come. So that's what I did. I came up there early. She did. She tried my gloves, my outfit, all of that. So I will never forget that day, too, because we was on 125th Street. It was me, Kelly, Laomi, Shoshana, Barbie, and Triggany. And God bless the dead, Barbie. And we was on just 125th Street, and, like, that was the first time I actually met Barbie too. Like, and I'd never seen somebody who was so, like, fucking beautiful before. Like, she was, like, beautiful. Like, cars were stopping, like, niggas on 120th Street wailing, like, it was just, like, it was one of those moments that I would never forget. They was tearing it up, like, you know, Kelly, it was just tearing it up on 125th Street, and it was, like, one of those moments, like, I would never forget. But Kelly had crafted my outfit and stuff like that, and, I was like, I'm ready, you know. So that night I had walked the Rumble. It was open to all. It was my first time walking a Rumble, and I won. You know, I battled. I had 3 battles that night. I battled Veronica. That was no battle. I had shout out to my sister Veronica, but I sent Veronica packing. Who else I battled that night? I battled Malik from Boston. He was a prodigy at that time. Sent her packing, and then I battled Pretty, and I sent Pretty packing. And then it was grand prize, and it was like, they was just going up from like start to finish. And I didn't even think I was going to win, to be honest, because Pretty had all her Jersey girls on the panel. Yeah. Like, it was all the Jersey girls on the panel. So when I won, it was just kind of like, I was like shocked myself. And that's just like when everything just like took off for me. So.
And then you left Mizrahi and became. Why did you leave Mizrahi? If that was family to you, why would you leave your family?
Well, it was a lot going on with that. But even before that, like, just like from that starting point of that Rumble Ball number 2, winning that, like, it just became constant wins. And then, you know, got to the awards ball, I won that. You know, then I got to the latex ball, I won that. And it just kept going and going and going and going. But a lot of people don't know, like, Laomi was a big part of the reason why I got in the house. You know what I'm saying? It's from her telling me what she told me and then working with me and then seeing me evolve. She was a big reason why I got into the house. So at that time, and mind you, I was in Mizrahi for 3.5, 4 years. So at that end of that 3.5 years, going into that 4th year, I don't know if you remember this, but this was the time where it was a lot of stuff going on. This was when the radio shows had just started popping. Right. And Tom Blumenthal had his radio show. And, you know, like families do, everybody get into like their own situations with a lot of stuff and a lot of things that was going on, you know, with the Mizrahis or whatever. And then Andre got on the radio show, he started reading Laomi. And he started talking about like where she lived and where she was sleeping and all this other cattiness that was going on. And I felt a certain type of way because Laomi was the reason why I got in the house. Yes, I'm a Mizrahi and I walk and I rep this name, but this is my sister. You know what I'm saying? So that took me to a whole nother level, and that's the reason why I left the house. And that's the reason why I left, Shoshana left, Laomi left. That's why everybody started leaving at that time, because we didn't like the type of representation that Andre was given at that time. Like, it was just given like, fuck y'all, like, this is my house. It is his house, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't, like, that's not what we stood for. Here in New York, we didn't get that. You know what I'm saying? So when they started like airing on Laomi, that's when we was like, nah we out.
Well, Kelly said when he was doing that to Laomi.
Kelly had left too at that time. It wasn't like at that specific time, but she left like a little bit later on. But she didn't really say nothing, you know, about like us, you know, leaving stuff, because I was gonna go back. Like, I was like, okay, like, I'm leaving now. This is like for just like a few, but I'm gonna end up going back to my house. But when I went to the ball and Jack had called me out as a 007, I was like, girl, like, I'm trying to get back to the house. But he called me out and I came out. I was not gonna like renege on my leave. It's like, you know, it is what it is. And that's just that. So, but I had a great 4 years as Mizrahi. I loved them. I loved like the bonds that we had. You know, I love that we used to come out and tear them bitches up. And you know, that's just what it was. But you know.
And then you got to Milan.
Well, actually, I didn't go to Milan like straight. I was a 007 for almost 2 years. So what happened was when I became a 007, a lot of people doubted me. They was like, "Bitch, it's over." Like, Kelly not by your side no more. It's over. Like, you know, all that other stuff. So I'm like, bitch, I'm gonna make these bitches know it. Like, I don't need nobody. I could do what I do, like, you know what I'm saying, on my own or whatever. So it was like every time somebody challenged me or like, you know, do that, it gets me like 30 times harder to like come out like even, you know, better than I did before. So when I was a 007, I stayed a 007 that long for a reason, and that was the reason. And when I became the first house that I was really going to that was Balenciaga. I was coming before the Agas. The Agas ain't have nobody in New York City. It was just Kitty, Shirley, and Thaddeus. And them two lived in the Midwest, and Kitty was in D.C. It was nobody else. Like, and I was in conversation with Harry before Harry went on vacation. I was in conversation with Dante. I was in conversation with Mario and all them Chicago. They was gonna fly me to Chicago to come to the meeting. But what happened was, you know, at that time I was in college and I had a Saturday class and I couldn't make it. You know what's crazy? Me and Hakeem LaCroix from Philly, we were supposed to go at the same time. When he got voted in, I was supposed to get voted in.
I love you, Hakeem.
Love you, Hakeem. Shout out to Hakeem. We were supposed to get voted in at the same. He was calling me. He like, yo, you ready? Like, what's up? Like, we really about to do this? You know, But the whole Aga thing came about because Thaddeus was like, one day we was all just chilling, and Thaddeus was like, daughter, you ever thought? We always like, you know, everybody call each other daughter. So he's like, daughter, you ever thought about being an Aga? And I was like, no. And he was like, I think it would be fab. And I think nobody would expect you to be an Aga. And I was like, no shade, that would be fab. And I felt like at that time, I left one of the biggest houses in the ballroom, so I need another bigger house to back me up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no shade. So I was like, I was in for it. A week later, I kid you not, Selman called my phone. It was like, daughter, so you going to Aga. And I'm like, how the fuck did you find out? Like, how did you know that? And she like, girl, are you going or not? And I'm like, I couldn't make the meeting. Like, I couldn't make the meeting. So that had fell through. And then I was going to be a Muglia. I was going to be like, the house, not to like, not to be on no like cocky, arrogant shit, but houses was on my back when I was a 007. And it was like, I was like, kind of like shocked because I was like, I didn't really think that people would really want to be invested in me the way that they did, you know? So it was like every house was like really, really, really at me. So it was like, I was gonna be a Muglia, and at that time, Muglias had no vote femmes at all. Like, it was just Toro was the only person here. Like Toro, and you know he was transitioning to father, you know, legendary, moving into icons like that. So it was nobody there, and then I was gonna do that move. And then what happened with that was every time I was going to a meeting, they would cancel the meeting. Like, meetings kept getting pushed back. And I was like, right now, bitch, I'm running out of time. Like, what's up? Like, I need to get back into my house, or whatever the case may be. And then one day, Jack had called me, and Jack was like, he was like, daughter, like, I want you to be the captain for the Kiki Rumble team. And I was like, first I was like, and then he was like, there's no shade, you branded the Pink Ladies, you have to do this. Like, it's no, like, you have to do it. Like, the Pink Ladies is like, right, the Pink Ladies was like on top, like, you have to do it. No, we lost. We lost to the Poochies. Yeah. Even though I felt like we should have won. But Jack was like, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do something. Like, all right, boom, I'm gonna do it. So then after we did that or whatever, my phone had like bitches was taking my phone down because like everything that I do or like anything that I've done in the past, I always try to make sure like every time I come back out, I want it to be better than I was before. I'm a hard critic on myself. I wasn't like the extreme Vogue femme diva. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was in Mizrahi, I was Benji cunt, and that's what everybody lives for. They was like, you Benji, you cunt, you know, da. So me leaving it and going to a new path, I wanted to be more Vogue femme now. I was spinning more. I was doing floor performance. I was doing all that stuff. Like, I was doing all of that stuff, like bringing the new out of me, whatever. So then after that, after I did that, Eric had called me because Eric was on a panel for the Rumble Board team, right. Eric Milan. So he called me. He was just like, what's going on with you? Like, how's how you moving into your next move or whatever. And I'm just like, I'm still thinking about some things. I got some things that I wanted to do, but they didn't fall through. And he was like, well, have you ever thought about being in Milan? And I was like, not really, no. But I was like, and he was just like, I think it would be dope for you. I think like if you, trying to take, your vote to the next level, and like you have that support here, you have the Ronaldos, you have the Princes, you have those people here, da da da. And then I ended up becoming a Milan. Went to the meeting, and I became a Milan, and it was just like all she wrote from there, and I just like built so many relationships with them too.
So why did you stop walking?
I had stopped walking because I had a decision to make. So it was like being a Mizrahi, doing my thing, doing my reign or whatever you want to call it for like 3.5, 4 years. I was 007. I still was walking, doing my thing. That was almost 1.5, 2 years. So then me moving into Milan, I was in Milan for 3 years. My goal for Milan wasn't to walk in the stuff that I was doing already. I wanted to hit those other states. I wanted to do more Chicago. I wanted to do more St. Louis, Kentucky, Ohio. Little James and Cassandra was going up there racking them thousands up. Like, I wanted to get out there. But I had to make a choice because I started falling behind in the things that I needed to do. Like, I had got dismissed from school because I started my grade point average had failed. So I had to start all over again, going to college to get it back where it needs to be. And I was working full time. Because one thing a lot of people don't know, like, everybody had this thing, like, people feel like when you become a Milan, people stop walking. Because they said the same thing about Foxy. They said the same thing about everybody who became a Milan. But Milan taught me independency. And they taught me, like, you have to be independent. Like, I can't be traveling doing all this stuff, like, eating off a next bitch bag. You gotta have your own money. You gotta have your own things. And that's one of the things that Tony, God bless his dad, instilled in me. And Tony was one of the persons who I kept in contact with non-stop. So I walked like about a good 7 times as a Milan in like 2 years. Like 7 times in like 2 years. I started walking Vogue Femme like ending of 2014. And I had stepped away.
So why you start speaking the language altogether? Why you start voguing altogether? Like,
I felt like when me and Tony had this conversation, God bless his day, I miss Tony, but me and Tony had this conversation, and before I like decided to transition out, I already spoke to them about. I said I don't want to vogue no more because I felt like it was nothing else left for me to do. To be honest, like I felt like not even on no cocky, arrogant shit. Like I won 2 of the years as a Mizrahi, I won 2 of the years as a 007. So it was like.
Oh, you won 007 of the year before over me?
Yeah, be sure.
Yeah, you did beat me. Yeah, you did.
I had won the book.
You did.
I had won both of those. So
I should have beat you.
You might do when I won. You was like, I should have got that though.
I should have beat you because I was making noise.
So when I had won those 4, I was like, I wanted to be of the year, of course, for Milan. I wanted to do it again, but like I said, I started getting a little bit older. I didn't really see like voguing like I did before. I couldn't give the scene all to me like I did when I was 15. I had like I just couldn't. You know what I'm saying? So, but I told Tony, I was like, I don't think I want to vogue no more. And he was just like, no, well, bitch, what you want to do? Tony was like, well, bitch, what you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. But he was like, bitch, we want to find you something to do. And I had like transitioned out, and then when I transitioned out, everything just started changing. Like the house started changing, but I was kind of like already a little bit gone before that. But I felt like if I was gonna come back, I was gonna go back to the house. But I just felt like everything started like kind of changing, and like Hickory had passed away, Tony had passed away. Other houses was forming, and the Stephanie had left, and like they was all Muglayers now. You know what I'm saying? And all that other stuff started happening. So. But I didn't want to vogue no more because I didn't have the hype for it no more. Like I felt like I wasn't with my girls no more. I wasn't with Shashawn and Tyshawn and Laomi no more. Like I battled and beat like literally like everybody. Like it wasn't nobody like people who came after me I wasn't worried about. I would like to battle the people that came before me. So it was like they wasn't really coming out like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was like everybody who came out and walked. I either I battled you or I beat you, and it was like it wasn't fun no more because it was like nothing else left for me to do.
You battled Cassandra before?
I did. I beat her.
Oh, right.
I beat Cassandra, and that's one of my ballroom highlights. Me beating Cassandra because no shade though. nobody in the scene was beating Cassandra. Nobody. The only people that was beating Cassandra was Deshawn, Leomi, and her and Ronaldo used to go back and forth. Nobody was beating Cassandra. So that night when I beat Cassandra, that just put me to a whole nother level. Like, no shade. Like,
so what made? All right. So let's get to the kiki thing.
Mm-hmm.
What made you? How did you become like you're like? You were like when I stepped in, you were like the head honcho of it all. Like you was like the. How did you get that power? That how did you get all of that? Because I feel like you were like the leading lady.
You know what's so crazy? I don't even know. Like I just felt like when I became a legend in the kiki scene, I had stepped back because I was focused on my rise in the mainstream. So even though I did both simultaneously coming out, and you know, still to this day I still do both, I felt like when I was doing the kiki scene too, I didn't want to. I know I was like I'm not walking both of them no more because I'm doing that in mainstream. But when I was doing it, I wanted to bring something different to the table for kiki scene because I was around the Mizrahis and Jack and Andre and all of them. They taught me so much. So it's kind of like the kiki scene was always like an emulation of the mainstream. So everything that we was doing kind of like in Mizrahi, I was bringing it to the kiki scene. No shade. Like that's what it was giving. So it was like I think like the power thing had happened when I started doing a Legends Ball. Because it was, it kind of like actually fell into our laps. Like we didn't ask to be, you know, in charge of the girls. We didn't ask to do none of that. It just kind of fell into our laps because the Legends Ball at that time, you know, well still to this day, but the Legends Ball was that ball that we did to kind of bring the differentiation and statuses, you know, and all that other stuff and like Demon Legends because nobody else was doing it.
Emerging the scenes, like the different. Because I like the Legends where you see a lot of different older people, and a lot of people come in. If y'all don't know, the Legends Ball is like the one of the biggest balls of the kiki scene. Like you know, it's bigger than the awards ball. It's bigger than it's the top of the top, right? And it's like the girls get ready to shake their bodies underneath. They storm for the Legends, bitch. How did y'all get the ball? Who gave it to you?
So what happened was he passed the ball down to us because what happened was at that time I had already took the kiki balls out of GMHC and out of HMI because the Pink Lady first ball was the first ball funded by agency period at Grand Street Settlement. So I had already moved that out of that, and when she seen that, it was kind of like, okay, well now since y'all move functions out, you know what I'm saying, let's do the Legends Ball bigger and better than they did before. So she was the one who kind of like passed it down to us. Because she started the Legends Ball. So once she passed it down to us, it was like, all right, we really gotta make this a big thing or whatever. So that's kind of how like it fell into our laps and stuff like that. As far as like, you know, the power or you know.
What was your favorite one?
Ball or
the favorite Legends Ball?
Oof, I don't even know. I would have to say the year that Trish and I won the 500. Trish and Barbie, because that night was just like, it was just like a moment after moment type of night. Like y'all had bitches y'all was bringing out. Like it was just like it was something about the lab energy that made the ball like really really prestigious.
I like the one at Holland for me was the best one.
That was like a second one for me.
I like that one. I like the Holland.
That was like a second one for me. But that night where Trish and them won that money when like Barbie came with the ladder, all that stuff. That was like the top of the night. Like even when I still look at the pictures, I'm like, bitch, that ball was so crowded. Like it was like so crowded. Maybe because it was free, but it was like it was so crowded, and it was just like moment after moment after moment after moment. So yeah.
So what? So you were the leader of the House of Pink Lady. Pink Lady was like the number one kiki house in the scene at that time. Like they were like bigger than life. Why did you leave Pink Lady in the middle of it being so big? Because people say Pink Lady has never been the same after that.
I actually feel like when I left, I feel like they wasn't really at the top no more after I left. I mean, not after I left, but like during my transition out.
Can you move over here?
Yeah.
Because this is dying. I don't want it to die. Sorry, y'all.
That's still on. We're not boring y'all, right?
No, people still watching. Y'all still watching? Yes. Thank you, Moon Prince. So, what made you leave Pink Lady while they was at the while they was at this hop?
But yeah, like I was saying, I don't really think that they was I think the time I wanted to leave, I felt like the hype kind of like died down a little bit. I felt like I left the house was because I felt like, I just got tired of like doing everything. I was at a point in my life where I was just like, I'm just tired of doing everything like by myself. You know what I'm saying? It was like it was fun to do it the first couple of years and stuff like that by yourself, and I didn't care and I didn't know it. But when I wanted to have me time to focus on, things that wasn't on the scene, everything fell on me. You know what I'm saying? It was like nobody was pulling their weight, nobody was stepping up. But I did have people like Davina, who was like my right hand, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But it couldn't just be only Davina. Everybody had to pull their weight. And once I saw like people wasn't pulling their weight, I just got over it. And I was just like, my time is up. Like I gotta go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I go and, y'all choose to do whatever it is y'all choose to do, then that's on y'all. But I just had enough with that, Because it gets tiring, it gets draining. It's like, yeah, it's the Kiki house, but you still have a lot of responsibility. You responsible for like the entire entity. And then it was like we had all these different chapters and like all, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just like you really gotta like really be in tune with it like 24/7 nonstop. And it was like I was just like drained. I was like, no, I can't do this.
So what made you go to Poochie out of all houses?
Well, I stayed I wasn't in no house for a little minute. Like I wasn't in no house for a little minute. And then what happened was, what did make me go to Poochie? I don't even remember.
You jump around a lot, by the way.
I did.
That out there.
I did. What made me go to Poochie? I just think it was one of those things that that just happened. I think I was either in conversation with like Twiggy or something, and like again, like even in the Kiki scene, everybody was asking me what I was gonna do, like where you going, da. And then it was just like, all right, let me just go to Poochie. But I didn't even walk. I think I walked one time as a Poochie. Like I don't even think I really did nothing. Like I helped them with the Poochie wall. The one they had the what is it like the what is it like the marble work cat on that ball that they had.
I didn't go to that one.
Oh, but I had helped them with that ball and stuff like that. And then after that I had left them too, and then I had went to Benji Khan.
So why did you leave Benji Khan?
The same reason why I left Pink Lady. Because it's like, with me, it's like, we Aries, so it's like, when we get to certain things, or, you know what I'm saying, like, and I wasn't even Benji Khan was not my house, like, at all. Like, that was not my house, I came into a situation helping somebody who was a friend to me at that time. I didn't, like, that wasn't my house, but it's just like, if I'm there, bitch, we gotta be the best of the best. We can't sit here and settle for, the shit that y'all doing. So it's automatic to me to come into a situation and be like, all right, bitch, you gotta take over now. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, that's when I had first just met, like, I've been knew Kiva, but me and Kiva had got really, really close. And then we were just tired of the certain things that was going on with the leadership. So we decided to just like come in and just like, take over and just started doing everything ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And then, but after a while, we got tired of doing that too. And then it was like,
the Lorenzi.
That was just because. That wasn't even like a... Shout out to Kamari on them. That was just because, like, me and Kamari's close. And Kamari was like, help me do this production, and I was just like, I haven't been out in a while. Let me just come out for y'all and just do what we want to. And I had came out to the production with them, but it was like, I was there, but I wasn't there.
So what made you go to Juicy?
I had became a Juicy, again, like, I wasn't in the house for a long time. And it was like, I became a Juicy, because my son Daddy was like, what you doing? Like, like, what's going on? And I was like, what you mean? He was like, what you doing? Like, you know where it's at, like, come over, like, know what it's giving, you know what I'm saying? Bust a little streetwear, da-da-da-da. And then I was just like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And then when you was like, well, bitch, what you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna do it. But then it was like, the Juicies is a different type of experience, though. And I'm not just saying that because Courtney's here. Juicy is a different type of experience, and a lot of people, and I always tell a lot of people, like, you have to be prepared to be, you really have to be prepared to be a Juicy, because the Juicies don't care if you legend, you icon, star, statement. If you not cooking, you gotta go. It's like, bitch, you have to make sure, like, you really on your shit, because it don't even be Courtney. It be the mothers and the fathers that they hit you up like, what's going on? You walking this ball? Da, da, da. You really have to be prepared to be a juicy, because they just don't have bench warmers in the house and you just come to the ball again life off the name if you're not putting nothing to the table. So I live for that. And then it was like I wasn't in charge of nobody. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want no position. I just wanted to be me, and then they embraced me for just wanting to be me and come doing what I gotta do. And that was it, So
Right. So would you be walking like in the mainstream? So are you gonna ever come back out in the mainstream?
Oh, I'm coming back. I'm definitely coming back.
Are you gonna vote for him again?
I'm definitely coming back. I might. I don't know yet, but I'm definitely coming back. 2021, I'm definitely coming back. If I do walk, I am walking Legendary Performance because I am a Vogue Femme legend.
So do you think that y'all love action? I love action.
I am a Vogue Femme legend. So the most that anybody could probably do is, probably chop me, but bitch, I have a resume and I have wins and I have moments. So
when you officially deemed?
No, I wasn't officially deemed.
So
but who was these days?
I got a plaque. So.
Oh well, you got a lot of other girls don't got a plaque, but you know what it is? It's like when people ask me that, it's like I don't even care about legendary status, because to be honest with you, like deep down in my heart, I feel like I had a little bit more work to do. And if I feel like that, everybody else after me has to feel like that. No shade, because they didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and but I get more like when I go to balls, like when I came back to the scene, no shade, when I went to Caesar's Ball, and I think it was like 2018, like I get more like for people coming to me like why are you not legend, versus me like walking around saying I'm legend. Like when people come to me like, bitch, you not legend? I thought no, I'm not. Like, but I felt like when Amari got deemed, Lil Mama should have held her plaque. Because at most of the times, to be honest with you, me and Amari was winning together. So it was like, and it was times where Amari, he came after me and Mizrahi, but it was times like when Amari was battling Cassandra, and they never even let Amari be Cassandra. Amari never beat Cassandra. So it was like, I just felt like when he got deemed, I should have got deemed. Just based off of what, based on my resume, I feel like I should have just got deemed.
So you wouldn't just come and take your stand. I'm
definitely coming out, and I'm definitely walking out with the greatest wonder. But I can't really say who that is right now.
So have you been practicing?
No.
Because I don't want you can't.
But that's why I said I don't know when I'm coming out. I'm not just coming out
and don't have nothing.
Yeah, I'm not coming. I would never do that. Like, I'm not never coming out and being chop cheese.
You represent Brooklyn. You better take your ass to those juicy practices.
I know, but that's why it's like I don't know when it's gonna be, but when it does happen, I'm definitely gonna walk Legendary Performance, because everybody who came after me is legendary now, and it's like I am not walking with, the girls.
What if you don't even want that category no more? What if you want to pay that category in general?
No, I mean I am, but I'm saying like I have to. I feel like I'm like that was what I would be legend for. I wouldn't be legend for anything else. You know what I'm saying? Because my whole resume is Vogue Femme. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I would definitely love to. But I was actually going to come out. I don't know if you was there, but the year that Atoro had his ball,
I judged.
Oh, you judged. I was going to come out for that, but I was pulling a Mika. I was like, bitch, my shoe, bitch. I had on these shoes. I was like, girl, I'm not coming out. My shoes gonna fly off or whatever. So it was like a lot of ample amount of times that I could have, but I just didn't, because I was like kind of like over it. I was just like, I don't really care about it, but now I'm like.
Do you like where ballroom is going now?
No.
It's more mainstream and stuff like you don't like that?
I don't like the way ballroom is going now. And the only reason why I don't is because I feel like ballroom lost its authenticity. I feel like, because I know my history, and I've been around a lot of older people. You know what I'm saying? Bless you. You had to know. I have been around a lot of older people, so when they tell me stories about the authenticity of what what ballroom really was back then compared to now, it's like we lost that. You know what I'm saying? Like we lost I feel like we take a lot of things for granted, and we didn't really have to go through the things that they went through, you know what I'm saying, in that early time in ballroom. And I feel like we forgot about that stuff. Like everything is like check, or I'm booked and busy, or you gotta go to Paris to be fab. I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need that. So it's like, but I do feel like ballroom. I don't like the way ballroom has molded. I'm happy that certain people is, you know, taking their talent and, you know, raising it up and doing what they got to do. But I just feel like ballroom got to get back to that authenticity. Like I feel like we selling out a little bit, you know, for a check. So I feel like I feel like it needs to go back to that. Like you don't even see certain people at balls no more because they're like, oh, I'm bugged or like, you know, da 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 da, like, you know, something like that. And I'm happy for you, congratulations. But when are we going to get back to what ballroom really was? Ballroom was the environment for us to be our own celebrities, and now it's not that no more. It's like, to me, it's just like, you know, it's just dead to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like it could get back. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't think right now we're at that place. I'm not mad that we're not at that place, but I just don't feel like, you know, we're at that place where we were before. So,
are you having what happened with you with what happened to you and Kamari giving Sheree the Legends Board, and then y'all want to continue to do it?
Well, I didn't. To be honest, I didn't really give Sheree the Legends Board. Me and Kamari was in conversation, and Kamari already had told me that he was thinking about passing his half of the ball up, giving his half of the ball up. And what happened was, I was like, okay, so who do you want to give, you know, like who would you want to give it up to? And he was like, I don't know yet. And I was like, okay, well, you know, da da da. But I didn't think that he was going to post what he posted in the page and say that Sheree, that he was going to give his ball to Sheree.
He never said it to you?
No, he never said it to me.
He just posted it?
He just posted it. But we was in conversation because we was supposed to actually step away together and pass it on to, you know, like people who we had in mind. And when he said what he posted in the group, I didn't think that it was going to be that fast. I thought that he was going to at least do one more before, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But what happened was, when he wrote what he wrote, I was like, okay, well now he already, you know, passed his part down. So now, like, I have to, you know, work with Sheree, coach Sheree, What happened was, the year that we did the ball together, Sheree did nothing for the ball, like, at all. And I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad because I know what it's like to be on call for your house or be the only person your house can call when it's time for a ball. That was a major ball. You get what I'm saying? So the Mattels needed her. They needed her at practices. They needed her to, you know, do it. I know what it's like because I've been in those shoes. So I wasn't mad. But when I felt like you can't even come the day the ball to help me set up and, you know, do all the other stuff, I was like, I don't need you. It was no purpose for, you know, for you to have the ball if you can't fulfill your part. She did reach out to me about, like, you know, category ideas and theme ideas and stuff like that. But it just, like, I already have my concept that I want to do because we always prepare a year in advance for, you know, our theme and, you know, categories. Because Kamari was always a category person. So you could tell when Kamari write a category. It's wordy. They 50 bitches calling you like, what does this mean? Like, what's going on? You know, da da da.
The category that I hate, the more I hated the most is the one that y'all had at BB King's.
I hated that one.
That was the worst one.
I hated it. I hated that one, and I hated the one we had at Grand Street Settlement. I liked the certain things that night. That's what Jamie Lee will face.
All right. I didn't like that one either.
I didn't like that one. That one and BB King's I hated. I hated those
were two worst ones.
I hated those two. Like, those were like horrible. But
I need Lil Mama IG.
Who that?
What's your IG?
Oh, my IG is it hit different _ and I got that from Courtney when she was commentating. It hit different.
So the name. Do you used to go by Lil Mama or you prefer Brandy?
At first I was like saying like Lil Mama's not my name. Do not call me that. But I had to really, really understand like people who know me from that. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because that's gonna always be attached to me. Like no matter like what I do, whether I'm, like if I'm still staying in the scene, it's gonna always be attached to me. Like I'm gonna always be Lil Mama. Snow White is always gonna be Snow White. Foxy is always gonna be Foxy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like certain people that go by aliases, like, you know, I was kind of skeptical with people knowing my name because I feel like sometimes when people know your real name, you give them a part of your privacy. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I didn't really want that at first, but you know, That's what people know me by. So it was like,
because we still go Kitty and Pretty.
Right, Kitty, Pretty. Cassandra. So it was just like,
Prince.
Yeah. So it was just like, at first I was like over it, like, no, don't call me that. But people who know me, you know. Yeah, ballroom names are final. Like, no shade, they really are.
How do you mean to be in the scene for so many years and don't have no drama, no rumors, and none of that stuff about you?
I had drama.
I didn't know you having no drama.
I had drama. Like, I was like, no shade. Like, sometimes I was a little bit too arrogant. Like,
you was in drama?
I was in drama. Like, me and Pretty had beef. Like, it was like a big thing with us back in the day.
Both of me?
Yeah, we have
both. I
both.
don't count both.
Oh no,
that's regular.
But the other beef, no. Like, I just, you know what it is? It's just like a lot of times the reason why a lot of people have beef sometimes is because they get too comfortable with letting people in their circles, and I don't let people in my circle. I have the same 4 best friends that I've had since forever, and that's
you slept Coco. You slept Coco?
Oh yeah, I did slap Coco.
What Coco? My Coco? For real? Where?
No, actually, Coco slapped me. So
when?
She slapped me. So at the Pink Lady Ball. Was it at the Pink Lady Ball? Oh. It was at the Pink Lady Ball because she was mad because I found out that she was gonna be a juicy, and they pumped me to tea, and she was grandmother Pink Lady. So I gave her the boot, and I made Nikki grandmother Pink Lady, and Nikki came out in her production at the ball. And she got mad. You know, Coco was drunk, so she got mad, and she like swung at me, like mushed my face. Yes, it was a big thing. So she had mushed me, like mushed like my face or whatever. Kids said I had mushed her face back, but she was mad because I found out she was a juicy. Like, bitch, I get my tea, girl. I'm Lil Mama, girl. Like, I knew you was coming out as a juicy, and then she tried to make it seem like she was mad.
Coco get on my nerves.
Yes, and then I didn't really like Jason at one point either.
I can take that as no shit. I love my brother down, but I can take that as me.
I didn't like that. She was like, she used to read me. Like, we was walking at Collections Ball, and I was coming out, and, you know, the bitches was coming up. And she's on and you know, when Andre records DVDs, Andre's standing behind you. So you can see everybody that's on the panel. So she stole Pretty's Vogue, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Pretty's not even somebody who I even watch. Like, how did I steal? If I stole Pretty's Vogue, that means that Pretty stole Ricky Vogue, because Ricky was somebody who I always idolized as a Vogue fan during that generation. You know what I'm saying?
You got beef with the Jersey girls.
No, I don't have beef with the Jersey girls.
You got beef with the Jersey girls?
Who, Jada? I didn't have beef with Jada. It's just me and Jada, the scene made a beef with Jada. I always beat her, but it was like, I didn't have a problem with Jada. The Chanel's made it a problem with Jada. So that's what that was about. They was mad because the night I beat Cassandra, I had beat her, and they felt that she should have beat. You gotta think ballroom politics. Like, even if she would have won and beat me, I wouldn't have been mad because I just beat one of the best bitches that was on the floor. So, but you gotta think, if I just beat the best bitches on the floor, they're not gonna let you beat me. I just beat Cassandra Ebony.
Right.
They're not gonna let you beat me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was all about. And then Jack had the ball, his birthday ball, when we came up with the wigs and the skirts. The night you did the Michael Jackson production, and I beat her again. And then Jada, I beat her again that night, and then I beat her in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? So it was like,
Pretty turned it that night.
Yeah, she did. She battled Kitty that night. She tore Kitty out. But I ain't really had beef with Jada. That's not really beef. Like, that's not really beef. But no, but like I was saying, people get too comfortable letting people you know, in their circles, and I just had the same friends that I've had, you know, since the beginning. Vicky Gotti, Tyrone, and my best friend Suave, and that's just really that. We went to the girl, and I can't remember who tried to get something. I think it was now. I don't know who's that.
That's my Asia, I think.
My Asia. That is my Asia. Probably so. My Asia. I don't really know. That was years ago, but
so when you was younger, you used to be.
But you know what? People always try to have a problem with me, like because I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was because they couldn't just take me, or you know, my attitude. I just had a I don't care attitude with everything. It was just like,
when you find that boy, tag me in it.
I just was like, I just had a I don't care attitude. They just trying to pick with you. Yeah, they just trying to pick with me. Like I didn't care. Like they man wanted me probably, and I just was paying it or something. Like, You know, it just was always something. Like I don't really consider those as beef.
Have you ever dated in the scene?
I have, but I don't really consider them relationships. I consider them entanglements.
Entanglements. Only way entanglements if you're in a relationship when you get into with somebody else.
Well, situationships. Let's do that one. Situationships. I have, yeah, like I used to like I had a lot of situationships, but they didn't really go nowhere, and stuff like that. Yeah,
Okay.
but
I just want to know because it's like you're an Aries like me, and I'm a fire. So as soon as somebody do something, I'm just now getting to a place of paying it.
yeah,
Paying it. My credit score is rising. I'm sitting down.
I always paid it though, and I think that's why people used to be so mad because I really used to pay it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I really used to be like, oh well.
Nikki Gotti's an Aries. She's always in something.
Always in something. She's always in something.
Like me, she always getting to the bottom of it.
Yo, my Asia, who was I in love with? You are dragging it.
Who you was in love with?
I don't know. She was in love with somebody.
I'm gonna inbox you. Okay.
Okay.
So you don't. So have you ever had a lover? Have you ever been in a relationship? No.
Yeah, I had relationships that wasn't like in the scene though. Like all my scene stuff was situationships. Like
because you're very handsome. Like I always say you're cute.
You do.
I think you're very.
Remember that time you remember when we first met?
In face to face?
Yeah.
What I said?
Let me tell you. So, y'all, this was like when I first came out, right? I was in the village. I think this was like my second time going to the village, and Courtney was coming from somewhere. I don't know if she was coming from around the corner and in the back street with the girl. I don't know where she was coming from, but Courtney was coming from somewhere, and then she was like, "What's your name, bitch?" And it was me and Tyrone, and me and Tyrone are still cute about this to this day. So Courtney was like, "What's your name, bitch?" And I'm like, "Randy." She was like, "Oh, you little Randy from Boise? Miss Thing, I heard you dance. Miss Thing, let me see you do a step." And you know, Courtney heard somebody do so, she was like, "Let me see you do a step." So Tyrone started busting out laughing, and then I'm like, "I'm not doing no step out here, Courtney." She was like, "Miss Thing, let me see you doing the one step." So mind you, I did a step. I did like a step. She was like, "No, Miss Thing, you gotta bend it. Miss Thing, you gotta really do your." Yo, when I tell you, Tyrone still laugh about that till this day. And he was like, "Bitch, you remember that time we met Courtney?" I was like, "Yo, that was really a key."
You're so cute. I think you're still so cute.
Thank you.
You're getting older, you still look like you're like a cute little man.
Thank you. But yeah, I never had like real relationships in the scene though. Out of the scene, yeah.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Randy, aka Lil Mama? So you still in Milan? You didn't just that. You left Milan too?
Yeah, me the Milans and I had like parted ways because like I said earlier, like when I decided to, walk away for those, those 4 years that I was gone, I just, it was like when I told him, like when I spoke to Tony about it, me and Tony had a really, really great understanding. But then when I spoke about it to other people, I guess it was just like, all right, well, she's out, And then I wasn't in a group no more. I just like wasn't in none of that. So it was just like one of those things. But when I came back, like I said, I already knew that I didn't want to Vogue again. And I was coming out for, I was going to come out for fashion. But it just didn't happen like the way that I wanted to happen or whatever. So now I'm just like, whatever I feel like doing, I'm going to do. And that's just where I'm at with that.
Would you ever come out for Vogue again? He said yes.
Yeah, I am coming out, and I'm coming out for legendary performance.
Name people you went to battle on your return in 2021.
I don't even know.
Keep it real.
Like the shade is, I don't want nobody. Like I don't even want nobody. I just feel like I gotta get Little James back. No shade, so I gotta get into the gym with her. We won one, and the second time I feel like I still should have beat her. If you look at the tape, you look at the clip from that Rumble War that night. I should have got Little James. It was break the tie. Cabbage broke the tie, and oh God bless his head. Cabbage came to me at the end of the night and was like, "Girl, what's going on with you?" And I'm like, "What you mean?" She was like, "I don't like this new Lil Mama. This new Lil Mama, I don't like that. Where the Benji Cunt Lil Mama at? Like, what's going on with that?" I was like, "Girl, I'm trying to elevate.
What's
I don't
your favorite
be
category? Is it Vogue Femme?
No, you know it's Femme Queen Performance.
Okay, right.
It's Femme Queen Performance. I love Femme Queen Performance, but I like the back in the day girls.
So I want to ask you. So I'm gonna name some Femme Queen Performance girls and say the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about these girls.
Okay.
Amina.
Hands.
Alexis.
Sexy.
Dee Revlon.
Duck walk.
Monique. West.
Gia. She looked like Gia to me. I always say that.
Katrina.
Hurricane.
Roxy.
Undisputed.
Janice.
Janet.
Everybody say that. Everybody say that. Lou Kelly.
Blahnik.
Stacy.
To be honest, I never really watched Stacey like that.
Yolanda.
Innovative.
Alora.
Dramatics.
Mika.
Epitome.
Sanaya.
I don't even think it's the words to describe Sanaya. Forever.
Angel.
Soft.
Deja.
Creative.
Alyssa.
Feather.
Ashley Icon.
The mother. I love Ashley.
Samaya.
Queen.
Mariah.
I don't even know what to call Mariah when I think of her. Destructive.
Brandy.
I never really watched Brandy like that.
Asia.
Rebirth.
Niambi.
Untouchable.
Mercedes. Prodigy.
Body.
Christina. Tsunami.
The hierarchy bitch.
Davina.
Talented.
Revlon.
Who?
You don't know Revlon?
Mm-mm.
You know Revlon Ebony. You don't know.
I don't know Revlon.
I thought you speak the language.
I think you went a little bit too far back for me.
No, she from that era with them girls.
For real? I never heard of her.
Who's your favorite? Who's your top 5?
What, Femme Queen performance?
Yes.
Mika.
Yeah.
Mika, Deja, Alyssa, Sanaya, Christina.
That's how about the Sanaya in number 1. Alora, 2. 3, Deja. 4, Mika. 5 will be a tie between like Niambi. Niambi will be 5, but 5A will probably be like Alexis, and 5B will probably be Yolanda.
Okay.
I like Yolanda.
I mean, my 5A was Christina. My 5B would be Ashley.
Yeah, I like Yolanda for
Ashley
matchups. I like Yolanda for battles.
Yolanda for battles.
I like Yolanda for battles. I like Yolanda for battles. And Deja will be 3 because I love Deja for 10s.
Yeah.
Like love her for 10s. For 10s.
10s, yeah, 10s, definitely. I just feel like, and I know she be hating when I say this, and I say this sometimes, but I just feel like, Mika to me is just like, it's not even just this Mika. It's Mika, early day Mika, Mika Infinity Mika, Mika at the start as the Oomba Mika. Like, it just was so.
Oomba.
Which queen?
But why call it Oomba?
Because I just hate saying like,
Yeah,
I hate that. But Mika, Infinity, Mika Infinity, early days, even to like when she transitioned, it just was like, it was just so different. It was just so different for me. It was just like I just admire people who just like love how they come out all together. Like your look is always on point. You know, the performance is on point. Like it just, you know, even with times where she may have felt she wasn't on point, it was just like on point, like to the crowd. So
what about both films?
Top 5 or just in general?
Top 5.
Oof, that's hard.
I'm gonna put my top 5. I'm gonna put my top 20 Vogue Femme on IG tonight. Of only legends and icons. I'm gonna do like the 90.
Can I do 10 instead of 5?
You can do 10.
All right, I'll do 10. Of course, none other. Ricky's number 1. Ricky Allure, Mother Glove. The second one I would have to say would have to be Arturo. The third one I would have to say Jamel. The fourth one I would have to say Prince. The fifth one I would have to say Little Kevin Prodigy. The sixth one I would have to say Eugene Milan. 7 I would have to say is No Shade. Like Armani used to get busy. Like Armani Milan used to get busy. Who else? That was 7.
That's 7.
Who else? I would have to say Paul Con, Givenchy.
Oh my gosh!
Rest in peace. Used to get busy.
I'm shooting because that means like, but that's fire, like fire, Ricochet, bitch, bring it.
8, and then the last 2 I would have to say.
Bitch.
The last 2 I would have to say the creators, the first generation, Taifa and Shay Shay.
What you know about Paul?
I seen you know VHS like tapes of him, and I just felt like it was oh, you know who else too? I'm sorry, I forgot one. Can I make it 11? Mystery, bitch. Mystery used to carry garbage to that. But I seen like VHS tapes of like Paul before, and I just love the performance. I just think it was just like it's just those times are just. I wish those times like right now.
Y'all can make those times right now.
But they don't want to see that. You know they don't want to see that. You know they don't want to see that. It's like you could try to do it, you know, and that's why like I give like to Asia, because Asia kind of like, you know, did that for like the femme queens and stuff like that, but they don't want to see that. These categories want you doing 360s and flipping. If you're not getting a crowd up and being innovative, they don't want to see that. They just don't. Like, and it's bad to say that, but it's like that's just what it is.
Paul, garbage. That's a nasty one.
You know who else I think is really, really talented too? That they don't really give him his flowers. Andre.
Mizrahi?
Mm-hmm. I think Andre is really, really, really talented. I think that Andre, anybody that could really, bitch, be his age and still do all those twirls and stand on your head and do all that stuff, bitch, you talented, bitch. Like, and I feel like Andre gave a lot of girls a chance. Like all these girls, like Andre gave a lot of girls a chance. Like, and like me just being around the old girls and me hearing the history, like a lot of these fab girls, like No Shade, the other houses was not taking them. Andre gave everybody a chance. Mizrahi gave everybody a chance.
How do you feel about Andre? What he said about the trans community?
I felt like I kind of felt like everybody else too. I felt like it shouldn't like I feel like he shouldn't have said it at all. But I do feel like we all are entitled to our own our own opinions about situations and stuff like that. And I think that he's not the first person to make a mistake. And I think he's not the first person to say something dumb and stupid. And I just think that they kind of like sacrificed him and like hung him out to dry, or whatever. But I feel like Andre's like the Michael Jackson of ballroom. It's like, to me, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he touched every single fab girl to this day. Like he had a piece, like, you know, he touched them, like he gave them a chance, stuff like that. So I feel like he's Andre's like really, really dope.
How do you feel about the situation when not sure how you feel, but what's your thoughts on when the girl said that when I was deemed Ty Young and they said I wasn't an icon and I couldn't do so?
I felt like when you did it, I felt like I got the backlash because I felt like a lot of the girls, a lot of the girls don't have backbones, and I feel like when a lot of things in the kiki scene is done, I get the backlash because they know I'm the most vocal one out of everybody. So I feel like when you did it, they gave you backlash, but I got the backlash because I was there. And it was like, why are we gonna keep letting this happen? Who gave her the right to do that? Why you didn't say nothing? Blah 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 blah. And I'm just like I didn't care about it because I felt like sometimes I feel like sometimes we just sometimes we do be playing a game because we play games before. I feel like sometimes we playing, but I just felt like at first I didn't understand it when you did it, but then like when I thought about it, I got it. Like I understood it.
But my thing was when they it wasn't the fact of what happened because that part.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the backlash because I didn't take no backlashes. I was ignoring those bitches, and I always tell people I play with a team of my own. So whenever I say move a certain way, we gonna move a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
We will boycott bitches both for a long time, but you have dinners galore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm that type of girl. So I'm just like, the point of matter when they would say like, oh, you're not even an icon, or you're not this, that is it, like that for me. Like, you know, and never do I act as such or I own ownership of anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a white girl in y'all space sometimes. Keep it a bean. Like, you know.
But you chose to be the white girl in the days.
Nothing like that, but that was the issue. So my iconic status, what is your thoughts on that?
I feel like you are an icon, and it's like I feel like when people say icon in like the kiki scene, I feel like, and I'm not just saying that because you're saying it, but I feel like icons, like a lot of people think like being an icon means that you only have to walk or you only have to do something. That's not only what an icon can represent. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
You started a legacy. You changed the game forever. That's iconic. You get what I'm saying? Like if it wasn't for you standing your ground and, you know, having the blonde leading the blonde, there would be no Juicies. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I feel like you started a legacy. Some people be like, no, Shay Sean started it. You know, give all that, but I say Courtney. Like I said, Courtney started that.
And me and Alex stood up the other day.
I said Courtney started it.
Me and Alex had an argument on the phone. He had an argument in his house for 2 hours. And she said that Deshaun, she called Deshaun. Deshaun said, yeah, we started it. Deshaun said, no, actually, now that I think about it, Courtney started it. God, like, you know, and even if I started there with whoever, you know, when you saw them balls, you only saw me.
Right, exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you only saw me. Like, it's like, and not to take nothing from Deshaun or nobody else, but like Deshaun was at another place when he was doing his career. I was at a place where I was making sure that every step of the way we were moving. We weren't far behind. Like, whoever was at the top spot, we was coming to get the top spot.
Right.
Whatever it took to get there, we was hopping out of cabs, we were doing Ubers, we were fucking hopping the train, we were doing hair on the train, we were going to wherever it was hot at, we was coming.
Right.
So that was just my only, I just wanted to know how you felt about that. The demon part, I would deem somebody again because I feel like sometimes they deem people that don't have no wins.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I bet you can come back out right now and be like, oh yeah, they be deeming you and they have no wins. Like, and I know, we Aries, so we can pay attention. Y'all let a lot of other shit slide. Like,
yeah.
And it be given debatable. When I be giving you bitches that, I be like, oh, this bitch got a whole resume of hair.
Right. No, but I mean, we talked about that too before. Like certain shit that like got like slipped through the cracks and, you know, all that other stuff. So, but like I said, when you did it, I didn't challenge it. I didn't understand it at first, but when I thought about it, I was just like, I got it. Like I understood like why you did it. And you know what the crazy part is, the same way you kind of like deemed him was the same way Charlie got deemed. Because it was like, everybody was so like, I said no. I'm just being a real, and I told him to his face, I said, I said no, but then when I thought about it at the board, I'm like, okay, you won of the year, what, three years in a row? That's legendary or whatever, but everybody was just waiting for me to do it. So it was just like, you know, it was what it was. And I was just like, if y'all stuck on something and y'all want to do something, y'all don't have to wait for me. Like, I could give my opinion on something, on how I feel about something, but that's not going to stop y'all from deeming somebody. Right. Y'all going to do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, that's what that was. So, you know.
No, I don't like the word knots. I don't like the word knots. So I would never say that I took a knot into a bow tie. I don't like the word knots. I think that you can't call somebody a knot that just comes in to see that don't know what they're doing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like, I remember I had an argument with this dancing legend probably like 2 years ago. She told me, like, when I met you back in 96, you was a nobody. In 96, I was 10 years old. What the fuck was I supposed to be? Like, when a child of God and my mother's child, like, I didn't have my own money. So what did you want me to be? So you gotta realize when people come into the scene and you call them knots or gumps, it's like, these are new people. Like, they don't even know, you know?
Right.
No, you know, people don't even know what it is that they're doing, what their purpose is. They don't know what it is to even exist in a space so that they can thrive in this space.
Right.
Because you come in a space of like it's being owned by one or two people, but then once you get involved, you're like, oh, this space is for me too. And then when you get to live and thrive and breathe that same energy, then you know that you are of substance, you are a part of this. This is your lifestyle, and you can create legacy here as well. So therefore, you're no longer a knot. So when they be like, everybody was a knot, it's like, no, everybody was new.
Right.
Like everybody's not knots. Like, everybody's new. Like, you know, you're not a gump. Like, you know, you are new. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, because it's like, if somebody just came out the closet 2 days ago and they dressing how they parents dressing, when you usually come out at 14 years old.
Right.
You don't come out at 20 years old. You come out at 14 years old. Some people come out at 20.
I'm about to say, what do you think about people who come out at 20? Because I know a couple people that came out late.
I know a lot of people that come out late, but most of the girls that come from the hood come out early.
Yeah.
And you come out 14, 15 years old, even 11, 12 sometimes, and you have older people yelling at you, telling you you're some type of knot, you're this, that, and third. Like, somebody told me I was a knot when I was little. I told them, and I used to say back in the days, in my day, I'm just getting started, girl. So whatever you call it, I guess I am. I'm not gonna be this forever. Like, you know, right. It's just like what it is. Like, you know, it's like that's one thing I don't like about the gays. Like, when they do stuff like that, stop downplaying people. And not you, Monty, because you don't really know better. So I'm not really talking about you. I'm talking about people in general. Like, you know, when you feel like somebody's not or they don't have it, and then you can't knock people for not having. When most of the people, like, when you out here crafting pieces and you sucking dick for pieces and you calling people bums, like, because they got regular 9-to-5 jobs and they wearing Urban Outfitters and they wearing that don't make them less than you. Like, right. I hate, that's one thing I don't like about. One thing I love about Simone. And one thing I love about Simone, she said, bitch, I wear labels, but bitch, I shop in Forever Student, I shop in Pretty Girl too.
Right.
I shop at regular store, so that's what I wear regular day to day. And it's one thing about it is I have a lot of clothes from Urban Outfitters. I have a me. Of course I have a me. I have label pocketbooks.
Right.
I don't wear them every day. I wear them when I go out. I have shoes, but you know, I like
on occasion.
I like regular Nike sweat, Nike leggings. I like to be regular every day. Like, you know, you don't really, like, you know, that's just what I feel like, you know. And I have a girlfriend that always does that. Like, he's always, she's not this one is this. And I'm like, girl, why are you worrying about everybody else, girl? Like, I'm very much the girl next door, but I'm very much like, I just don't like the word. And not because, like, the person that said it to me, quite frankly, I think you could call somebody a knot. If you've been in the game for like 20 years and you still doing dumb shit, that's naughty. Yeah, that's naughty. Not when you first coming out. That's like being a baby and then like you like 1 year old, your mother ain't shower, you like, you dirty bitch. I don't even know how to wash myself. Of course I'm dirty, bitch. I don't even know how to use the bathroom yet. Like, that's what that feels like to me. Like, you know. But when you like 30 years old, you've been in the game for like 20 years and you're not doing like this. The girl that called me a knot when I was young is definitely still a knot. She still walks around the village and all that. And she see me like, oh my gosh, Courtney, oh my gosh, You look so fab. I love you so much. I'm like, she is a fucking nine. Like, and then she looked at the new girls like, bitch, like nobody knows her. She used to walk. She was a Pendarvis. I'm pretty sure Avis don't even know her. Like,
oh shit.
Like it's like she's definition of not. It's like, you know, like what do you feel? What do you feel about that? Right?
About not? I think it's I think it's something that we just you know, we just grew up on. Like, because I never really had like no feeling. I mean, I'd be sitting here lying to you if I said I ain't call nobody a nod. Like, it was times where, like, back in the days, we used to call Cassandra a nod. Like, all best is that. Like, we were like, she naughty. Like, cause like, that's what we used to do back then, because that's, you know, that's what we was taught around us. So it was like, but I don't really.
But you gotta find, I feel like we gotta sometimes find what it is. Like, for instance, like, I started working face, right, because I already felt like I was pretty. Like, you know, I was ready. My job was, when I first started, Ayana was I gave me Ayana, Maisha, we came out together. Ayana was like real boots.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I could never be real boots. I was never going to be real boots, and I already said I just want a fat ass and a pretty face to get me through. That's all I ever wanted. And I didn't want nobody to throw no bottles at me. They used to throw bottles at me galore, bitch. They used to violate me, kick my dog and all that.
Yeah.
When I was first starting, but bitch, like when I go through right now, then when I kick my dog, bitch, I grew up. I'm not the same person. I guess I was to the hood. To them, I was just a drag queen.
Right.
You're a drag queen, you're a trainee, but when they see me now, they don't see the same things. Like, we have to change our language sometimes, and especially I'm always about protecting. Like, you're not gonna like, when I first came into the scene, and any old bitch will tell you, them old bitches will tell you, like, when they first met me, I was always like, don't say that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk to me like that. Don't do that to me. I used to be putting them bitches in place like, and the ones that used to treat you like that was the bitches that was super duper late. The bitches that was fat didn't even have time to talk to you.
Right.
They was busy getting money. They was busy doing whatever they was doing. I never had a conversation with Cheyenne. I saw her before,
right?
But then you would definitely have you would have a conversation with fucking Jennifer from the Bronx,
right?
And she read it, you call her or not, and Cheyenne don't even know her name.
You got any favorite moments in ballroom that you will remember, like, forever?
When I went to the first Blaze Expo. Okay. I went to the first Expo in '99. And I got to see Mizrahi battle Cavern. I got to see a little bit of Babylon. But what I liked about the scene was, like, I went to the scene and I started seeing, like,